Hi, this is Cheryl back with you from Farmhouse Frugally, and today we are going to be making some sunflower DIYs. It is the end of summer. Welcome to my channel. I am challenged to craft my stash and use some sunflowers. So I'm starting with a piece of slate. And I picked this up on the good table at my dump several weeks ago, and it appears to be maybe somebody's dog, I'm not sure. And so I am going to go ahead and cover over that with a good coat of white chalk paint just to get that picture from coming through. And then once that is done, I'm going to take some brown, I think this is Java, and I'm just going to go around and kind of lightly pounce over the black slate with this brown color because this goes better with my design today. And then once I have that done, I want to take out some tissue paper that I have had in my stash that is a very pretty sunflower pattern, and I am going to go ahead and tear this to cover over that white section and decoupage that on with some Mod Podge. Now, it works well to paint your background white before you decoupage so that the print on your decoupage paper will pop. Now, obviously, since slate is not flat and has ridges and bumps, this will go on rather uneven, which is fine for my design. And then I wanted to go ahead and add a second design on top of that. I did try to look for something on the graphicsfairy.com. I couldn't find exactly what I was looking for, so I went out to Canva and I just created this little sunflowers for sale sign. And I printed this on just some regular print paper, and I am just going to tear that unevenly, and I'm going to decoupage that on top of the sunflowers. But before I do, I'm going to paint the back white just to prevent the sunflower from coming through to the front side of this sign. And then I like distressing, so I am using distress ink on a little makeup sponge, and I am going to go around and distress primarily the edges of both of these signs to make these look a little bit more vintage, but certainly that is optional. If you don't want that look, you could leave this as is. Now, this slate already had 2 holes in it for hanging, so I am going to just put some twine through those holes and knot that several times in the front so that that could be hung if someone should desire. And then just to add an embellishment, I went through my stuff and I did find that I had a floral sunflower from a past craft, so I was able to embellish this with that. And that is pretty much it, but I'm going to show you these together. And this second one is going to be very, very simple, and then the third one even more so. So these are really simple, easy to recreate sunflower crafts for things that you probably have in your stash if this is something that you would like to recreate. But before I continue, let me let you know that today's collaboration, Fall and Sunflowers, is hosted by Tasha, Sunflower Tasha DIY, and Tiffany at Simply Blessed Crafts. Their channels, as well as the playlist, will be in my description box. And once you're finished with this video, head over to the description box for the playlist to see what all the other creators have created for this collaboration. So I have been painting with just white chalk paint a piece of a drawer, just a scrap piece of wood that I had in my stash. And I have this piece of rice paper decoupage. I bought this a year or 2 ago, and it had several things on one sheet. And this sunflower was left in my stash, so this is perfect for today's collaboration. And I am just going to go ahead and add some Mod Podge once the paint is dry, and I'm going to Mod Podge this rice paper decoupage right on to that piece of scrap wood, and then I'm going to go over that and finish that off. with another coat of the Mod Podge. Now, if you'd like to do this as frugal as possible, you can go out to thegraphicsfairy.com and print a free printable, and you can also use school glue watered down, so that way it will be less expensive. And then I am going to go ahead and I'm going to take some ribbon out of my stash that has that little bit of a yellow tone in it. And I'm going to cut that down by taking off the wired edge, and I'm going to use it for a little bow. And then I'm also going to use a thicker portion of the ribbon by just cutting it in half, and then I'm going to glue that on the top since it had those like ridges from the drawer front, and I'm going to wrap that around. And then for the top, I'm going to take a piece of the Dollar Tree lace and give that a nice trimming. Add that shoestring bow, and then I'm going to do a little twine, knotted twine hanger on the back for hanging. And then once I have all that together, I decide that it is just a little bit too white for me and it needs to be just a little bit distressed. So I should have distressed it prior to putting it on with the decoupage. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead with that same distressing ink, and I'm going to go around that and darken up the edges. And then I go into my stash to see what else I might have. And I have this sweet little butterfly in the right color tone that I'm going to add to the center of that bow. And here is how those first two projects look together, displayed on the hutch in my dining room with the pumpkin that I made a couple of videos back out of a spool of string. So thanks so much for letting me know what you think about those two. And then that takes me on to this third one. It's very, very simple, but I printed off of Canva another item very similar to the other one, but made it much smaller, fussy cut around that. Now this is on plain paper because I have a basket that I really love, but I had done it at Christmas time last year or the year before with the letters to Santa, so I wanted to just reuse that. So I'm just tacking down the lace, which is on top of a piece of drop cloth that I had put onto that basket, and I am literally just going to go ahead and glue this piece of paper, darken that up with a little bit of distress ink, and then I'm just going to fill it with some items. I could darken this with some antique wax, but I really love this basket just the way that it is. So here I am just taking a beautiful hanky, and I'm going to put that in on the edge. And what I wanted to do with this is use this beautiful sunflower that's almost like a paper. I'm not really sure what it's made out of, but it's really lovely. So I'm adding some greenery, and I'm adding this beautiful sunflower stem and a few other little things in here, and that is all I'm going to do to this. I think this is so sweet. So I would love to know what you think about these sunflower DIYs that are so simple for you to recreate and so inexpensive. Also, I want to make sure that you hit subscribe because I have a great giveaway coming up very soon. And also, don't forget to check out the playlist in my description box to see what all the other creators have made for this challenge. I want to thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.